For a long time, Karnak and Luxor have been described as two separate temples, one massive, one refined, one ceremonial, one symbolic. But when you step back and look at the geography, the materials, and how the site interacts with storms, air, water, and ground, that explanation stops holding together. Karnak and Luxor are not isolated monuments. They are two ends of a single process. The clearest clue is the connection between them. The Avenue of Sphinxes is not decoration, it is 3 kilometers of fixed alignment across the Nile floodplain, deliberately linking two architectural nodes. That alone tells us we are looking at a system, not a pair of buildings. The system begins at Karnak Temple. Karnak is vast, open and heavy, and its location matters. It sits on flat floodplain ground where storm systems move along the Nile corridor, carrying lightning, charged air, heat, humidity, and rapid pressure shifts. Karnak is built to meet those forces first. Tall pylons and obelisks act as preferred strike and coupling points. Open courts allow energy to spread laterally rather than concentrate. Canals, groundwater, and the sacred lake introduce moisture and thermal mass, buffering rapid changes. This is not refinement, this is intake and distribution. Karnak behaves like a surge yard, designed to absorb and spread large environmental forces so they do not propagate intact downstream. The materials used here are not arbitrary. Sandstone dominates the visible walls and pylons. Sandstone is mechanically forgiving, thermally stable, and tolerant of expansion and moisture. It works well as a bulk, structural, and buffering material. Beneath and within it, harder stones appear at critical interfaces. Rose granite and red granite are concentrated at thresholds, obelisks, and inner zones. Granite is dense, crystalline, and rigid. It holds shape under stress and transmits vibration efficiently. Quartzite appears in key blocks, bringing high silica content and strong resonance behavior. Iron-rich stones and basalt appear at thresholds and foundations, adding mass, durability, and different electrical and thermal behavior. These stones are doing different jobs. Sandstone spreads and absorbs. Granite and quartz focus and transmit. Iron-rich stone anchors and stabilizes. The architecture leverages these properties by placing each material where its behavior matters most. But stone alone was not the full system. Throughout Karnak and Luxor, we see sockets, channels, drill holes, housings, and mounting points that are now empty. These are not decorative absences, they are missing components. The materials that once occupied them were valuable and portable: gold, silver, copper alloys, and mercury-based substances. Gold and silver were historically used on obelisk caps, inlays, and fittings. They conduct, reflect, and resist corrosion. Mercury was used across the ancient world for amalgamation, damping, surface interaction, and chemical processes. These materials would not survive abandonment. They would be removed, recycled, or looted. What remains today is the stone frame that supported them, like an abandoned industrial plant stripped of its internals. From Karnak, conditions are not released freely, they are routed. That routing happens along the Avenue of Sphinxes, and this is the most misunderstood part of the complex. The avenue functions as a conditioning corridor. Its length is the mechanism. Distance introduces resistance. Continuous ground contact allows dissipation. Exposure to air and time steadily reduces intensity. This is how dangerous levels are stepped down without switches or machinery. Geography does the work. What leaves Karnak is unstable. What arrives at Luxor is already conditioned. By the time the flow reaches Luxor Temple, the architecture changes. Luxor is enclosed, ordered, and dense. It sits directly beside the Nile, incorporating river air, humidity, and soil into the final stage. Entrance obelisks act as boundary regulators, shaping what enters the structure. Here, stone no longer spreads force. It holds and reshapes it. Granite, quartz, and calcite appear in the deepest zones. In the most enclosed chamber, energy no longer appears as impact or discharge. It appears as vibration, sound, and altered air. Any conductive metals or mercury-based components that once enhanced these effects are long gone, leaving only the stone housings behind. This reveals the logic of the system. Karnak gathers and stabilizes the avenue, reduces and conditions. Luxor stores and reshapes. That is not a metaphor, that is a process chain. And once you see it that way, another possibility opens up. This two-node system may itself be only one component. The same material logic and spatial sequencing appear elsewhere. Intake zones, long corridors, terminal chambers. What survives at Luxor may be a module from a larger, more complex network that once extended beyond what remains today. Meaning follows function,